The visiting Kitchener-Hallman Twins taking on the Grand Prairie Pirates in winner's bracket action here on the ISC Network. I'm Blair Setford with Joe Todd this evening. And Joe Todd for the Grand Prairie Pirates. They come in on a bit of a roll, scored a whole bunch of runs in their first game, but a big step up in opposition tonight in the Kitchener-Hallman Twins.
Exactly. Kitchener-Hallman Twins, the number 3 seed coming into the tournament. One of the premier teams of this tournament. Going to be a tough matchup for the Pirates.
For the Kitchener-Hallman Twins, Joe, just got to keep things on the roll that they're on. They've been hitting in bunches, a lot of home runs yesterday. Back to Sean Cleary again on the board this evening, and trust in the arm that got you here.
Yes, Sean Cleary is their ace. He's going to you dance with the girl that you brought to the dance, so Sean Cleary will stay with that team and be, as long as they're staying at the rate of only one game a day, they're fine.
So leading things off for the Hallman Twins, it's Teo Migliavaca, and shows bunt on the first pitch. It'll be Migliavaca, Cam Schiller, Colin Walsh, Marshall Kronk, followed by Patrick Burns, Ryan Bolin, Andy Skelton, Jeff Novacek, and Jonathan Lynch for the Hallman Twins tonight in gray at the plate. Set the defense for you. It's Rich Haldane on the board, the veteran for Grand Prairie, pitching to Keegan Archon, Corey Jones, Braden Archon, and Scott Nehigh left to right across the outfield. As this one is flared out over the head of the shortstop, and it gets through left fielder Corey Jones. Migliavaca can fly around second into third as the throw dribbles into the infield, and Migliavaca all the way around to third on a two-base error. It's a little lumpy out in left field, Joe, at times, and we've seen the ball a couple of times kick away from that left fielder out there, but you got to get in front of it, get the body behind the ball, and not let it get through you.
Exactly. You got to square yourself up to that ball. Make sure that should you not put it in the glove, it stopped by your body.
So that'll bring up hard-hitting shortstop Cam Schiller. We'll finish the defense for you. Around the horn, Mike Friedrich, Nick Potskin, Ryan Friedrich at second, Lee Stuper at first, and Rich Haldane, as we mentioned, the veteran, throwing to Keegan Archon. This one flared out to left as well. Coming across, Jones makes the catch. Migliavaca will tag and score easily for the game's opening run. And Joe, you really just gave away a free run there for the Twins with that two-base error.
Again, we talked about the lower-seeded teams playing the higher-seeded teams. You have to eliminate the quantity of mistakes that you make. That mistake costing the first run for the Hallman Twins.
So that will bring up Colin Walsh. Called a strike on the inside corner. Colin has consistently been moving up in the order over the last couple of games, Joe. He started down in the 7 spot, if I recall correctly, and has moved up to the 3 hole here.
Well, if you produce at this tournament, you will see yourself playing a little more playing time and getting moved up in that order precisely.
Called a strike again on the inside corner. Haldane's got good stuff. He's not going to overpower you at this stage in his career, but he still has good stuff, makes the ball move, works it in and out of the corners. There's a high hopper on the infield. Coming across is Potskin. Good strong throw, and they get Colin Walsh.
Nick Potskin charging that ball, making sure he got it on the good, clean hop.
Number 26, Marshall Kronk.
So that will bring up Marshall Kronk, the designated player. Kronk, a big man at the back of that right side batter's box. Umpire is liking that inside corner right now, isn't he, Joe?
Yes. Umpires for tonight, Toby Olson from Maribel, Wisconsin. Dallas Applebacher from Eagan, Minnesota at first base, and Randy McLam from Clinton, North Carolina at third base.
Kronk has plenty of pop. There's a high one hopper on the infield. That's picked up by Lee Stuper. He'll go over, touch the bag. The Hallman Twins break out on top with the hit and the error and a sac fly. They'll lead 1-0 as we'll go to the bottom of the first. Stay with us on the ISC Network. Back here for the bottom of the first inning on the ISC Network. Blair Setford, Joe Todd. Hope you found us. We had some technical issues as Google decided it didn't like the login coming from our computer streaming setup all of a sudden. So we've switched channels on YouTube. Kitchener-Hallman Twins and Grand Prairie Pirates. Hallman Twins score one at the top of the first, coming to the plate here in the bottom half for Grand Prairie. It is Braden Arcond, followed by Scott Nehigh, Corey Jones, then Keegan Arcond. Rich Haldane is pitching and the designated player in the lineup tonight. Nick Potskin, Mike Friedrich, and Lee Stuper. Then Ryan Friedrich in the 9 spot for Grand Prairie. For the Hallman Twins, Sean Cleary, of course, on the board, pitching to stablemate Ryan Boland. Left to right across the outfield is Jonathan Lynch, Teo Migliavaca, and Patrick Burns out in right. This one chopped foul at the plate. Andy Skelton, Cam Schiller, Jeff Novacek at second base. Colin Walsh is over at first. And it will be Sean Cleary, as we talked about. He'll be the mainstay in the circle, Joe Todd. You talked about dancing with the girl that you brought to the dance. And Sean is either the girl or the dance in that metaphor. I'm not sure which.
Yes. He is the ace of the Kitchener.
Let's call him that. He is the ace. That just misses upstairs. Grand Prairie got to this one with that big 9-7 win over the Pueblo Bandits. That was all the way back on Saturday evening, so they had Sunday off. Hallman last night with a whopping 12-0 win over the Durham Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks got into that game through one of the play-in games. Down on strikes goes Braden Arcon, and that will bring us up to Scott Nehigh. Scott Nehigh, Joe, won the Kevin Hurley Award a couple of seasons back, I want to say 3 or 4, for the best newcomer. That was a year with the JB Bombers.
Yes, I believe so. He had a great batting average that year and was on base, scored a lot.
All the time, yeah.
and has a great arm from the outfield.
2016 with the A1 Bombers. Out of the BC area. Big swing. Cleary, a long time out there in between pitches sometimes, isn't it?
Yes.
Just misses outside.
He gets into his own little rhythm there of taking those 5 or 6 steps behind the mound, regroups, takes the signal, then moves back to the pitcher plate, sorry.
Foul tip right into the glove of Ryan Boland. Good job to hang on there by Ryan Boland. And 2 down, both by way of the strikeout. That'll bring up Corey Jones, left fielder. Corey, a veteran of the Alberta scene, going all the way back to the Lloydminster Dodgers days about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Cleary calls time as he steps back off, and Boland will go out to visit. This is a frequent occurrence between these two, despite the fact that they live in the same town and throw together all the time. They frequently have these mound meetings.
I'm sure home plate umpire will be making. Oh.
Well, Ryan's now going to come back. Well, whatever it was pretty funny because Ryan Boland came back with a smile on his face. So he's usually Captain Serious out there. Fouled out of play by Jones. Joe, it's been a very busy day here on day 3 at the park at the Isc World Tournament with games going on here at Circle Tap starting all the way back at 8 a.m. as well as over at Diamond 2 and 3 at the Denmark Memorial Parks downtown. You go all the way back to 8 a.m. this morning. Pueblo Bandits 8-4 winners over Wyerden Nationals. Coburg DRC would win 4-3 over the Reapers, but then dropped a 13-7 decision to 3 Cheers in a marathon game earlier this evening, really. Waved at that changeup. That's a world-class changeup from Sean Cleary, by the way.
Nice
one of the
pitch.
best. Yeah.
Because all Sean's been throwing so far have been rise balls up in the letters, so come back with that pitch. Good call by catcher Ryan Boland.
Let's see if he doubles up on it. They used to do that a fair bit, but called strike 3. Down goes Jones. So Sean Cleary strikes out the side in the bottom of the first inning. Through 1 complete, Hallman Twins 1, Grand Prairie no score. Stay with us on the ISC Network. anyone. Of course, always been a world-class hitter.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he worked hard at it. Attained the position now.
Speaking of world-class, we saw the emergence of Patrick Burns onto that scene in the gold bronze. It should have been the gold medal game, I guess, or was anticipated to be the gold medal game. Ended up being the bronze medal game. But Patrick Burns just threw a gem for Team Canada in that bronze medal.
Great pitching performance by Patrick. He's a tough out, too, at the plate.
Yeah, a top hitter in his own right. And, you know, a throwback, Joe, to the days when guys pitched and hit, and you wonder if you'll see that in the future with him in the lineup. Double vision, guessing at which ball is the one to catch. Burns swings through, down on strikes. Good inside drop there from Richie Haldane.
Great location.
So that'll bring up Ryan Boland.
Catcher number 10, Ryan Boland.
Had the opportunity to sit with Ryan through yesterday's Hall of Fame breakfast. Of course, the tremendous amount of respect and admiration between Ryan and Terry Bader from their Gators days from 14 to 16. And this one, well hit, deep left field, way back, and gone. Home run, Ryan Boland. Opposite field, Joe, you don't often see Ryan Boland hit home runs to the opposite field, but certainly taking that outside drop and pounding that one out over the left field fence.
Exactly. He took the pitch that Haldane gave him. Haldane decided to go to that outside corner. Good reach and good body strength, good arm strength there by Boland, driving that ball the other way. Fences here at 245, but they're at 16-foot height.
And that 245 was an estimate by you and I. It's in that neighborhood. It might be 242. It might be 247, but it's in that neighborhood. But the 16-foot fences are the great equalizer for a bit of a short porch. Hammered by Andy Skelton. Wow, Lee Stuper just about lost a limb on that one. Skelton's going to come around second into third standing up as that was a vapor trail all the way to the fence. Lee Stuper is lucky he wasn't in the way of that one, Joe. That would have burned a hole through him.
Great bat speed by Andy Skelton. Good turn of the hands driving that ball.
Second baseman number 2, Jeff Novacek.
So Jeff Novacek comes up to the plate after the strikeout to Burns. 2 very hard hit balls. And this one just misses on the inside corner.
Haldane really trying to pick the corners here. Doesn't need that other run to score.
It's a called strike. So the Twins now with a 2-0 lead over the Grand Prairie Pirates. Grand Prairie will host the Softball Canada Senior Men's Canadians coming up. Here's a bleeder on the infield, and it gets off the glove of Potskin. Skelton was going to score no matter what, and I think Potskin there, that's a youngster mistake, Joe, is he's just got to focus on getting the out. He was never going to have a play at the plate.
Exactly. He was really concerned about the speed of Andy Skelton coming down that line. His first job was to focus on that ball and keep his body in front of the ball.
So now a 3-0 lead for the Twins, and we get down to the 9 spot, Jonathan Lynch, and he is anything but a prototypical 9 batter, Joe. Reaches out and pulls this one foul and out of play down the right side. Great speed in the 9 spot. He's got some pop. He can hit the ball out of the fence, but Jonathan Lynch, his strength is hitting it in the gap and turning doubles into triples.
Got great wheels. Was hit by a pitch last night. Got hit in the back
Did he go all the way to third on it?
Right in the kidney area. And no, the umpire wouldn't let him.
Fouled off into the screen. Just catching up, Joe, on a couple more scores. We'll run through these over the course of the game. Tin Cup Tornado were 5-1 winners over the Bar Blues. Fisher's softball dropped a 6-5 decision to the Shakespeare Falcons. Lynch pokes this one fouled on the left side out of play. Nith River Monsters 7-3 winners over the Waterdown Hammer. And Bar on the Avenue Buzz 7-0 winners over Rice Lake Orangemen. Lynch time at the plate. A bug in the eye is not an infrequent occurrence here in the evening as the lights go on. Lynch swings at one in the dirt. And a strikeout for Haldane for the second out of the inning. And we're back to the top of the shop for Teo Migliavaca. Twins with a 3-0 lead. They've plated two here in the second. Ryan Boland home run. Andy Skelton a triple coming home on an infield play. Migliavaca reached on an error and scored. Came around on the two-base error and then scored on a sac fly. Fouled right back into the screen. We've seen some offensive prowess today, Joe, from some of the top teams already. The Gremlins won a game 12-0. I think the game that had a lot of people buzzing was the Hill United game. Here's a bunt, and that was just going to go foul on the right side from Migliavaca. Adam Folkert with another no-hitter here in the ISC, but only, Joe, a 2-0 win. Kim Hansen for the Ostrander team, four-hitter, only gave up 2 runs.
He threw a gem. That was one of the best pitching performances that I saw from Kim Hansen.
So kudos to Hansen in a losing effort, but Hill United, 2-0 winners. They move on into the bracket.
14 strikeouts for Adam Folkert in that game.
So Adam back onto it after yesterday's, let's call it so-so performance where he gave up 4 to the Coburg DRC squad. Oh, waited on the changeup, but Richie Haldane sticks out the catcher's mitt and makes a hockey goalie-like glove save. So the Hallman Twins will take that 3-0 lead into the home half of the second inning. Stay with us, the ISC Network. Keegan Arkan to lead things off for Grand Prairie. The cleanup batter here in the home half of the second inning. They're going to try and solve Sean Cleary here. Trying to at least, Joe, make some contact. 3 strikeouts in the first.
Yes. It's an important part of the order for Grand Prairie to get rolling, too, that top 5 or 6 batters. Grand Prairie got to find
This one is lifted out to left field. That is going to go foul down the line.
Grand Prairie trying to find a reply to the 3 runs put on the board already by the Twins, but Sean Cleary having that perfect K inning.
Bit of an upset, Joe, around noon hour as the Tin Cup Tornado knocked the Elmira Expos into the ISC 2 bracket with a 5-2 win. That one just upstairs. Fenland Falls, the Lakes, 10-2 winners over the Durham Diamondbacks. Rio Grande Senators, 5-4 over Dolan Murphy. Dolan Murphy made a furious comeback in that one, but just fell short in the bottom of the 7th inning. Upstairs from Cleary. 3-1 the count. Pueblo Bandits beat WAH from the Morongo Rez 9-2. They have a number 420 on that WAH team. You had the same reaction I did, just a chuckle. There's a hard shot. Schiller sliding on the backhand, turns, throws, dug out of the dirt by Colin Walsh. That is a web gem, Joe Todd, on both ends of that play.
Great defensive play for Cam Schiller to get that on his backhand and then fire a bullet over to first base. Kept his body low, went right down, picked it up cleanly.
Down to one knee on the backhand. That is a great play. And the key to that, as you just said, is the clean pick. And then Colin Walsh on the receiving side digging that out, too. It was a bit of a low throw. So some good defense there, flashing the leather, the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. And that'll bring up Rich Haldane, and Ryan Boland is going to want to go talk to Sean Cleary some more. Although something is causing a bit of a distraction down the alley in behind home plate because it's got Toby Olson's attention.
Must be a car or some lights.
I'm wondering, if
the
there's some
lights
lights or we get some lights go. Oh, there's
center field. Those lights up
that's
high?
what it is. Yeah, so they've probably put out like some construction site type lights, and they're right in the batter's eye. That just came on.
A couple more drinks now. You can sing with us
And
this
they are
time.
right in the batter's eye line in straightaway center field. What they're doing is they're illuminating the area in behind the grandstands out in center field. And that's great, but those lights are literally right in the batter's eye line, so they're going to have to get those turned off. It'll take a bit to communicate that out to somebody. So that's a good opportunity, Joe, for us to continue running down the scores.
Well, we had talked about the no-hitter by Adam Fulcard. That was in the 2 o'clock game here at John Miller Park. The 6 o'clock game here at John Miller Park, another no-hitter. 10 strikeouts by Daniel Chapman. 7-0 score there over the Ashland A's.
So that's back-to-back years for no-hitters for Daniel Chapman. He had one last year for the Ostrander team. Up to the Circle Tap Dukes this year. They got the light out, and we are back ready to play. We will continue with the scores as we get a chance. But right now, let's get back to Sean Cleary and Rich Haldane. Call to strike. Great looking atmosphere here at Circle Tap again this evening. The deck is full. The grandstands in and around the infield are full. We've got lots of people, not just in the stands, but out in the outfield area, in behind the grandstand as well, in the beer garden that's been established out there where the food alley is. Lots of people inside. Big cut from Rich Haldane, comes up empty on that rise ball. It is Just a fabulous place to come watch a game, to play a game. I'm really enjoying being here at Circle Tap.
Well, I was very impressed. I thought there might be a drop in the attendance, considering this is the kind of a workday Monday here, but there was a real good crowd here earlier, and obviously Circle Tap playing that 6 o'clock game. A lot of people stuck around to watch this nightcap.
Well, they've been treated to some really good ball games throughout the day, as you mentioned. In between the no-hit games, between the Hill United game and the Circle Tap game, New York Gremlins 12-0 winners over the Irma Tigers. So a match of the ISC and ISC 2 champions from last year. And to nobody's surprise, the big boys come out on top. The Gremlins 12-0 winners in that one. Bit of an upset. Also, AWP Lumberjacks 4-2 winners over Bare Bottom Lodge. So the number 5 team knocked down into the losers bracket early in the week. Joe, in a marathon game that I can attest to, Three Cheers Pub 13-7 winners over the Coburg Dirt Road Company in a 2.5-hour game. 7 innings. Three Cheers missed the extra point attempt on the second touchdown. Swing and a miss again. They go back upstairs, and they get Rich Haldane swinging. So 4th strikeout of the game already for Sean Cleary, just here halfway through, or 2/3 of the way through, the bottom of the second inning. Kitchener-Hallman Twins with a 3-0 lead. Nick Potskin was the leading hitter in ISC 2 last year, 8 for 10.
Yes.
Anytime you hit 800, you're doing pretty good.
He went 3 for 3 in the championship game.
Yes, he did. That was with Irma Tigers, not the Grand Prairie Pirates. So moving across the province, or north in the province, I guess, as the case may be. And then in a close matchup in the seedings and on the field, Niagara Stompers, ranked number 8, facing J&B Bombers, number 10. Niagara prevailing 7-6 in a back-and-forth game. Niagara at one point had a 6-1 lead. J&B Bombers came roaring back in that one. The Stompers prevailing, though, 7-6. I'm told Joe Todd, Patty Shannon, another home run in that one. So, Hall of Fame to back on the field and doing what he always did, hitting home runs.
He said he wanted to have a lot of fun this week, and he will be. 2 home runs in 2 games so far.
Well, I'm told yesterday he went in to pinch hit, and the first pitch he saw, he hit it out of the park. Fouled off. Good AB here by the youngster, Nick Potskin. Chased that pitch up and out of the zone, but managed to get a piece of it.
Potskin has good, quick hands. Good turn on the bat.
Joe, just a quick, funny Patty Shannon story. So he got off the plane last week, and he went and played in the Elkland Open Tournament with the Stompers. His first 2 plate appearances, he got walked, and chopper, that's going to get right up the middle off the bat of Potskin, and that's why he won a batting title last year. He's able to just hit them where they ain't, and aboard with a seeing eye single right back up the middle.
Well, he fought off a lot of pitches there by Sean Cleary. Got his pitch and drove it.
So good bit of hitting there by Nick Potskin. That'll bring up Mike Friedrich. Mike, the third baseman here today for Grand Prairie. Sorry, just to finish the Patty Shannon story.
Sure.
His first 2 at-bats, he got walked, and I asked a couple of other guys who were there why they were walking Patty. He hasn't played in 5 years, and they said because nobody wanted to give up a home run to the guy that just got off the plane. Potskin's got some good wheels out there at first, but you don't want to be testing the arm of Ryan Boland. You get too far off the bag there, there'll be a snap throw down to Walsh.
Friedrich really behind in that pitch. Real late swing.
Cleary, a long look in. Upstairs. 1-2. Couldn't get Friedrich to chase. And a little changeup, but he hung that one well upstairs in the eyes. Just if you're going to hang a changeup, you might as well make it sure it's out of the strike zone.
Out of that strike zone. You
don't want it to float in and drop at the waist. Staying alive, Mike Friedrich fouls this one off to the screen. Nick Potskin, the 2-out single. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Joe, do you send him? Trailing 3-0?
Sure. I guess the big question is how good of a batter is Mike Friedrich? If now you're down 2 strikes, you want him leading off the next inning?
Yeah, I think that's the question. Do you want your 8 guy leading off, or do you want to go 9-1? But yeah. It's a moot point now. He was on the move, but Friedrich strikes out on the changeup, ends the inning. Nick Potskin stranded out at first base, and the Hallman Twins will look to build on their 3-0 lead as we'll go to the top of the third on the ISC network. Cam Schiller looks at a pitch outside for ball 1 as we go to the top of the third inning. Schiller, a sac fly out to left field in his first trip back in the first inning. And this one is lifted out to left, but that's going to go foul and out of play.
Schiller just had a defensive gem in the infield the top of the inning, so we'll see if he can complement that with his time at the plate now.
And swinging a foul off, and that got a bite of the catcher, Keegan Arcon. Schiller come over from the J&B Bombers squad. That team made some changes, and the Twins, as this one is well hit to right field, is it going to stay fair? Home run, Cameron Schiller. The only question, Joe, was going to stay fair. It always was going to have the legs, and Cam Schiller steps on the plate to make it 4-0 for the Hallman Twins.
Well, we just answered our question. We talked about Cam Schiller having the big defensive play. Now he comes back with a leadoff home run here in the top of the third inning.
First baseman number 16, Colin Walsh.
The Twins had to rebuild this entire infield, Joe, after last year. Derek Mason over to the Fargo Knights team. Ian Fairman, the shortstop, retired. Brandon Horn, second baseman, retired. Steve Mullally over to the Hill United team. So they brought in Colin Walsh as this one clips his toenail, and he will wander on down to first base. Colin Walsh came in from the Cubs. Cameron Schiller from the J&B Bombers squad. Andy Skelton was with the team but was mostly DPing, and he went over to third base where he's at tonight. As Marshall Cronk flares this out into center field, and that ricochets off the knee of Braden Arcand. And an extra 60 feet of real estate for Cronk and for Colin Walsh. So it's really not going the way you would want for the Grand Prairie Pirates right now, Joe.
No.
These little extra base errors don't help.
You just can't give free passes like that to a good quality team. Every time you give an extra out to this, one of the top-seeded teams, it usually ends up costing you a run.
Patrick Burns, strikeout victim, back leading off the second inning. Get a chance to atone for that, hitting with 2 runners aboard right now here in the top of the third. And swinging his foul back. Did not miss that by much. And Burns fouls this one up and out of play, too. He just can't square one up right now. You can just kind of sense the frustration in the at-bat there for Patrick Burns.
His hands just don't seem to be ready in that position.
Haldane just misses off the outside corner, so 1-2 on Patrick Burns. Colin Walsh up to third base, Marshall Cronk at second, and Burns chases up and out of the zone. And you got to wonder, Joe Todd, both of those guys out in Western Canada, they probably see each other a fair bit. I got to think Richie Haldane knows where to pitch Patrick Burns. That's 2 strikeouts now. You don't often see that right now. Patrick Burns, one of the better hitters in the game.
Exactly, yeah. Haldane with 3 strikeouts and 2 of them to Patrick Burns.
So Ryan Boland, who had an opposite field home run his last trip, now up with 2 runners aboard. And an inside pitch called for a strike. Boland do a little pirouette in the batter's box. And this one misses. So 1-1. And here's a little pop fly in the infield. Potskin will reel it in, and a quick underhand toss to Friedrich over at third, but getting back plenty of time is Colin Walsh.
Number 24, Andy Skelton.
So that'll bring up Andy Skelton. Andy nearly kneecapped first baseman Lee Stuper his last trip. Just a laser beam, and Lee has moved over 2 feet to be right in the line of fire now. Keep the glove ready over there, Lee. And here's one grounded, but that is foul, just foul on the outside of the line. We've got a great view right down that first base line, and Joe, you are pretty much right in line with it.
I could be the first base umpire tonight. Or the left field line.
Called a strike on the outside corner. Strike 3. Down looking goes Andy Skelton. Wasn't really a fan of that call. Nonetheless, he will go back to the bench. The Hallman Twins will go back to the field with a 4-0 lead over the Grand Prairie Pride. Stay with us on the ISC Network. So it'll be 8-9-1 for the Grand Prairie Pirates as we'll go to the home half of the third inning. The Pirates chasing a 4-0 lead for the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. Lee Stuper, Ryan Friedrich, and then back to the top of the shop for Braden Arcon.
I'm guessing with the positioning of the Grand Prairie first base coach, Lee Stuper pulls the ball quite a bit.
Yeah, he couldn't be over any further unless he climbed the fence. And there's a changeup from Cleary. Ryan Boland perhaps noticing that as well. He's really got the closed stance too. He's got the back foot well off the line and the front foot well forward. Cleary misses by 6 feet. Boland, I thought, might fire a laser back at him, but he threw the rainbow. Couple of ongoing games. The Universidad Nacional Matanza from Argentina, our international team, they're leading the Shakespeare Falcons 2-0. That came in the bottom of the 7th over at the Denmark Memorial Park facility. Also over there in the bottom of the 2nd inning, Toronto Batmen and Kegel Black Knights from Fargo tied 1-1. Of course, it's 4-0 here for the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. That should get you caught up on the scoreboard. This one is lifted up and out of play. Joe, the ISC 2 tournament gets underway tomorrow. The 12-team tournament consists of teams who have been eliminated, either went 0-2 or 1-2 in the ISC World Tournament, and they will play a standalone 12-team double knockout tournament with a single championship game. That will take place now Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll have the ISC 2 championship game on Thursday for you. As down on strikes goes Lee Stuper, caught looking. That'll be Thursday at 4 p.m. Central here at the Circle Tap John Miller Field.
Number 3, Ryan Friedrich.
So Ryan Friedrich will step in the 9 batter for Grand Prairie Pride.
Yes, 8 teams have, because of their record today, have dropped down into that ISC2 record. 4 more will join them, I believe.
I think most of them are going to be set by the end of the night.
End of the night? I thought
think
it's
so.
going to be 4 more tomorrow morning.
I do stand to be corrected on that, but we can tell you who some of those teams are, right? Bar Blues will play Rice Lake. Kimberly Reapers will play Waterdown Hammer. Dolan and Murphy will take on Fisher from Pennsylvania. The D-backs, Durham D-backs, will play Wyerden. Elmira and Coburg DRC are 2 of the teams in the bye part of the bracket, and 2 more to be determined later tonight. Well, one of those is WAH. They lost to Pueblo. So they will be in the bye part of the bracket. And the other will be the loser of that Matanza Falcons game.
Oh, so all 12 will be relegated tonight.
Can't hold up. That one up in the eyes, and Ryan Friedrich chases that one. Rather sedate pace of play, Joe.
Yes.
Fouled out of play.
I noticed that even in the one earlier game today. Kind of laid back. I don't know if it's just the Monday blues or what.
Cleary took a little bit off of that, but it misses down and in. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Friedrich, the 9 batter at the plate. Boy, you'd really like to see him go after the 9 batter, not just nibble around the corners, eh?
Yeah, I would challenge him here.
Upstairs, chases the rise ball. Ryan Friedrich down swinging. 7th strikeout of the evening for Sean Cleary. Back to the top of the shop for Braden Arcon.
Center fielder number 16, Braden Arcan.
Chopper on the infield. That went off the foot of Arcon. You may want to sell that one a little bit more.
Yeah, I think
Hop around in pain at the plate.
Yeah, ouch.
And look at this. Ryan Boland out for another mound visit with Sean Cleary.
Oh,
You'd think they'd run out of things to say. You know, hey, how you doing? Goodbye, how are you? Yeah. Anything new since I was last out? No. Oh, okay, well, I'll go back.
Ryan just making give it
Ryan,
some
of course,
time.
I think he's giving Braden Arcon there. He come in with a smile again. Ryan must be having a great day because that's twice now he's come back with a smile on his face. So that might have just been a courtesy from Ryan Boland to give Braden Arcon a bit of a break there. Here's a little squibber on the infield. That's going to be gathered up by Novacek and out at first base. Close play, but gathered up nicely by Novacek and the flip to first for the final out of the inning. Still, Hallman 4, Grand Prairie no score. Twins coming to the plate, top of the 4th. Stay with us. On some good defense there by Nick Potskin.
Nick Potskin, a big pickup for this Grand Prairie Pirates team. Really knows how to play the game. Saw him in quite a lot of action last year.
Lifted by Lynch down to left field. Are we going to turn another double into a triple? No, we're just going to say double here as Jonathan Lynch again aboard with an extra base hit.
Top of the order for Hallman, center fielder number
Had himself a great tournament last year up in Kitchener for the Twins. One of, I think, and I don't think there's any disagreement with this one of the best young American players in the game. Back to the top of the shop, Teo Migliavaca misses inside. Teo, a double gold medalist this year with the WBSC World Championship in Prague, followed up by the Pan Am Games gold medal in Lima, Peru. And this one is laced out into the gap. Coming across, it's cut off by Corey Jones. Lynch will score easily from second as they trade places. Migliavaca steams into second with an RBI double.
Migliavaca driving that ball out to that
4,
left field side.
Schiller.
Big gap out there. Good wheels of Lynch. Coming out of that number 9 hole, scoring the 5th run of the game.
So 5-0 for the Hallman Twins. We're going to have a meeting on the mound. And that will be it for Rich Haldane. He will make his way to the sidelines. And coming in will be Zach Pierce, I believe, who was on the card as the listed starter before Grand Prairie dropped down to 9. Number 22, Joe Tom,
yes,
is that what
correct.
we got? Zach Pierce? Pierce, a young prodigy out of the Saskatchewan area.
Pierce, 22, now for the Pirates.
I think still under 23, or maybe just out of the 23 and under program.
Great to see those young gentlemen making the move up.
Yeah, it's good to see young pitching anywhere and everywhere. Got some zip on the ball. This is, I don't know if it's his first trip to the World Tournament. It might not be. He might have been here last year with that Kansas City Monarchs team. But certainly opportunity right now on prime time on the big stage against the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. And hard-hitting Cam Schiller will step in to face young Zach Pierce and greet him with a line shot out to left. And this one takes a funny hop on Corey Jones, and coming around to score easily is Migliavaca. So let's make it 6-0, Joe Todd. And the attack just continues for the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. They've been picking on poor Corey Jones out there in left field a fair bit. There's been a lot of action out his way. Colin Walsh. Joe's out here in July for the Boys' Summer Tour tournament, and swinging a miss there by Walsh. The Hallman Twins were locked into an extra inning battle with the Pueblo Bandits, and in the top of the 9th or the 10th inning, Pueblo scored 3 to go up 5-2, and the Twins got one back. They got a couple of guys aboard, and Walsh just absolutely destroyed a pitch, lining it right off the scoreboard for the 6-5 win. Chasing upstairs. If you wonder what that little conversation was about, Walsh at the plate called time kind of late in the delivery, but Pierce is not wasting any time at all in between pitches. He gets the ball, stalks back to the board, gets right on the board, gets the sign, looks in, ready to go.
Good quick worker.
Upstairs, just misses upstairs. Well, it was almost quick pitching.
Yes.
Not quite, but he's going to throw 4 pitches in 60 seconds. This is a flare down the right side. That is going to drop or get caught. Did he catch it? He did catch it. Good play out there by Scott Nehigh. It's a little dark over in that corner too, but tracked that all the way over to the fence and made the catch right up against the fence. So that's a great play by Nehigh to reel that one in. So it brings up Marshall Cronk. Big cut from Cronk. Fouled off that rise ball upstairs. Cronk singled in the 3rd. And a good changeup there from Zach Pierce, too. So a rise ball, a drop ball, and a change. Those are the 3 you need.
He's got them all.
And there's a rise ball. This one's lifted way up on the infield. Calling for it as the second baseman. And just reeling that one in is Ryan Friedrich. That one nearly got away from him. He hit the glove, and he brought that one in around his waist. So staying with it.
So go get it.
The Twins
I'm not getting paid to say this.
out in front now, 6-0. We will go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Stay with us here on the ISC Network. So Scott Nehigh, who made that good grab, Joe Todd, over down the right field line, will lead things off for the Grand Prairie Pirates here at the bottom of the fourth inning. They're now trailing 6-0 and fouled off the foot. That's how you sell a foul off the foot, but he's down in legitimate pain.
I believe that went right off the ankle bone.
Yeah, he got that one high above the shoe. And if you've never done that, you don't know how much that hurts. It is a really sharp pain. So Scott Nehigh nods, yes, I'm good to go. Cleary back on the board. He and Bolin snuck in another visit, I noticed. Upstairs. One ball, one strike. Nobody down here in the home half of the fourth inning. Grand Prairie Pirates trailing 6-0 to the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. Blair Setford, Joe Todd on the ISC Network. The nightcap here on a wonderful Monday afternoon, Monday evening in the Denmark area, the greater metropolitan Denmark area here in Wisconsin. Cleary misses down and out for ball 3. 3-1 to Scott Nehigh. Corey Jones and Keegan Archon will also come to the plate this inning. And this one fouled off. You know, you go to the other side when you're the batter, or you're on deck batter, and the guy still nearly gets you with a foul off. Joe, if you watch out in right field, Patrick Burns, well, now he's practicing his pitching motion, but 10 seconds ago he was practicing his batting swing. So maybe a little bored out there in right field as Pat Burns should bring the crossword with him out there or something. This one is lifted out to Pat Burns' way. He's got to come in 2-3 steps and make the catch. And that'll be the first out of the inning.
First defensive out to the outfield tonight.
Maybe that's why Pat was working on his pitching motion and his batting swing.
Left fielder number 10, Corey Jones.
Sean letting the outfield play as well. Jones will step in, caught looking back to end the first. And swing and a miss over top of a good changeup. That just died at the plate right on the outside corner. And they did double up there. This one off the end of the bat. Gathered up by Andy Skelton. Nice smooth throw over to first for the second out of the inning.
Real nice play by Andy Skelton to come in, pick that ball up. Can't sit on your heels on that ball. Have to charge it.
No, you cannot wait. You are absolutely right.
Keegan Archon.
So Keegan Archon, the cleanup batter, the catcher. He was erased on a web gem of a beauty by Cam Schiller leading off the second inning. And he's going to go out Schiller's way again. Backhand on sidearm flip. And neat as you can be, a nice clean inning for Sean Cleary and the Hallman Twins. Through 4 complete, it is 6-0 for the Hallman Twins. We'll go to the top of the 5th. Stay with us here in the ISC Network. Well, now we know why Pat Burns was practicing his swing. He's leading off the inning.
Yes.
But he's got a couple of strikeouts to his scoring row right now, Joe Todd. Both of those came against Rich Haldane. We'll see if he can have any more luck against Zach Pierce. Comes up empty there. Little kick of the dirt. Not too happy. And
he's struggling right now.
Yeah, he's looking like he's thinking he's not clearing the hips or something. Well, he didn't there. He really hung himself up. He tightened up and didn't clear the hips.
Got 2 strikes now, so has to protect that plate. Zach Pierce has a couple of pitches he can play with now.
Well, they go upstairs. Doesn't chase on that one. Hallman Twins looking to push one across to get to the 7-run mercy rule after 5. This one is flared down the right side. Look out for the tarp. And that's going to fall out of play and land with a bang on something over there in the night. Saw a windshield get smashed over at the Denmark facility last night on a foul ball into the ice cream store parking lot, and somebody who drove a big black pickup truck was going to have a nice starred windshield when they came back from getting their lickety-split ice cream. Swing and a miss, and Pat Burns might break that bat over his knee when he gets back to the dugout, Joe. He is frustrated with himself right now, having a tough night.
Ryan Boland.
That'll bring Ryan Boland up to the plate, a home run and a pop-up. And swing and a miss there from Ryan Boland. And there's the changeup again. That misses just off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Twins catcher.
Nice pitch.
And fouled this one off out of play. Yeah, it's not, there's really no difference in the motion.
No, it's perfect.
I saw a couple other changeups earlier today. You could just spot them coming in. Two balls, 2 strikes on Boland after that one skipped its way in. And he'll foul this one right back to the screen, and a bit of a from Ryan Boland. A little unhappy with himself that he didn't square that one up. Shakespeare Falcons scored 1 in the bottom of the 7th, but they are still trailing. I'm not sure if this is still current or not. As Boland swings over the top of a good-looking drop ball from Zach Pierce. We'll refresh the screen, and we will see if that game is still current or if it's a final. It is a final. Universidad Nacional Matanza pick up their first win in the Isc World Tournament. They will push the Shakespeare Falcons down to ISC 2, and Matanza will finish wherever they finish, but it will be in the ISC World Tournament bracket. Kegel Black Knights out in front of the Toronto Batmen, 2-1. That game is in the 4th. This one is lifted up to center field. Ranging in is Braden Arcon, and he will reel that one in for the 3rd inning. So a nice, clean 3-up, 3-down inning for Zach Pierce and the Grand Prairie Pirates. In the top of the 5th, we'll go to the home half. Pirates trailing 6-0. Shane Milligan on to pinch hit for Rich Haldane here in the 5th inning for Grand Prairie Pirates. They're trailing 6-0 to Kitchener-Hallman Twins. Sean Cleary misses upstairs with that one. Shane, one of the organizers for the Grand Prairie team, one of the good guys in fast pitch out in Alberta, and there's a lot of them. Ground ball over there to Cam Schiller. Sidearm flick and a good one across the infield. I'm really impressed with Cam Schiller's defense tonight, Joe Todd. He's shown some range and he's shown a good strong arm.
Great defensive asset there for those Twins.
I mean, you're stepping into some major league shoes when you've got to come in and replace Ian Fairman. But doing a very good job of it is the youngster, Cam Schiller.
Schiller had a great WBSC tournament in Prague.
Downstairs to Nicholas Potskin. Potskin, a hard hit single back in the 2nd inning. He's been the only base runner so far for Grand Prairie Pirates. And this one hard hit, but smothered over there by Jeff Novacek. Hockey goalie style. Joe Todd went down in the butterfly and flipped the first for the 2nd out of the inning. Cleary getting some ground balls and utilizing the defense here a little bit more the last couple of innings after racking up 7 strikeouts over the first 3 innings. He's now got 5 ground balls and a fly ball in the last 6 outs. And there's a nice changeup floated in.
Travis Head at the plate.
So Head in for Mike Friedrich. Hallman Twins out in front, 6-0 over the Grand Prairie Pride. Sean Cleary right now working a nice, neat, and tidy one-hitter. There's a called strike.
Nice pitch location on that outside corner of the plate. Really got Head guessing up there.
Bowling with a little landscaping.
Usually you see the...
I thought he was going out for another visit. This one just misses inside. Almost, I thought, maybe clipped the jersey on the way by, but didn't get a piece. And this one popped out of play by Travis Head. Just behind us, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's chasing after it. They're giving away a quarter if you bring back the foul balls and $1 if you bring back the home runs.
Hey.
Now, if you were at the Three Cheers Coburg game and were chasing down the home runs, you could have come back with $11. I'm exaggerating, but not by much. It was in the neighborhood of 8 or 9 home runs in that game. It was
the Rockets Red Bear.
They were some Rockets that left the yard. Let me tell you. Jeremy O'Reilly had a couple of them. Shane Kelly, Chris Murphy had one. Ferg Griffiths had one. Jake Taylor hit one out for Coburg, as did Dan Burnham, the catcher. Little chopper on the infield. Andy Skelton will range across and flip the first. So after the Travis Head walk, that is immediately erased on another ground ball. And through 5 complete, 6-0. Kitchener-Hallman Twins will go to the top of the 6th here in the Isc Network. Stay with us. Zach Shaw will pinch hit for Jeff Novacek. Zach Shaw, the son of Kerry Shaw, used to play for some Midwest teams over the years. Good ball player. Played with the Frontier Casino Players teams. I think played a year or two with, I want to say, the Patsies team too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This one fouled off the screen. But watch Zach play here in the Boys' Summer Tournament with the Hallman Twins back in July. And I was quite impressed. He's got some pop in the bat. He's a tall string bean of a kid, but he's got some power. Can hit the ball. A notion to go upstairs. But again, another good young American player whose father, of course, was in the game, grew up at the ballpark. Downstairs.
Nice pitch location by Pierce.
This one just going to be chopped foul. That's picked up by first baseman over there.
Shaw has to make sure he's good and ready here with Pierce on that mound.
Well, there's the changeup. Boy, he floated that one in. You called it, Joe. A lovely pitch from Zach Pierce, who's done a great job in relief, it's got to be said. Shut down the Twins coming in and had a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th, and gets Shaw looking here. And we've got Jonathan Lynch coming up.
Yep. Jonathan Lynch.
Want to make sure they weren't pinch hitting there as well. But Jonathan Lynch will step in. Got a double back in the 4th inning.
Pearson's done a good job really confusing these Twin batters. Throwing off their timing and...
Well, you wonder sometimes, Joe, what it might have been had Pierce started. Line shot up the middle and making a big turn, and then throwing out the anchor is Jonathan Lynch. So 2 for 3 on the night with a double and a single. Jonathan Lynch, top of the shop now, Teo Migliavaca. Single, double, line shot, got an RBI and a run scored. Pretty full night already for Teo.
Great leadoff batter. Oh, he's got
change up.
Just dancing right now.
Yeah, it is working for him for sure. Nice to see. Good to see young pitchers come in and has some success too. Sometimes. Oh. Yeah, that's a late call. I think if I'm the home plate umpire, I'm not giving time there. He was coming off the board when he called time.
I think the Twins are trying to throw off his timing.
Oh, that's absolutely what they're
Yeah.
doing there. Yeah, they're trying to break up that that timing of Zach Pierce. This one is laced out into left field by Migliavaca. Lynch will get up to second base with the play in front of him. 3 for 4 on the night for Teo Migliavaca. He's having a whale of a season, too. I know he was hitting the ball all over the place at the Pan Ams. You saw him in Prague.
Yeah. Just a real good ball player. Really made some big steps in the last couple of years.
Schiller, 2 for 2 with a home run, a single, a sac fly. He's got 3 RBIs on the night. Made a couple of defensive plays. This one skips away from catcher Keegan Arcand and will move a couple of runners up 60 feet. So now we'll see how Zach Pierce responds with a little bit of adversity here now. 2 runners in scoring position for the Twins. Hard chopper in the infield. That's going to get through. It's going to score 1 for sure. They throw up the stop sign, and then going up to second base as the throw came into the plate goes Cam Schiller. I mean, there's some basics right there, Joe. You got to keep that runner at first. You're not going to get anybody at the plate. Why you're throwing there and not to second base to hold the runner at first is a mystery.
Exactly. Just lack of concentration, lack of focus. Obviously, you're down some runs and potentially going to be ending the game at the end of this inning. So, but you still have to be, you're sharp.
That's the 4th RBI of the game for Cam Schiller out of the 7 runs on the board. Joe, tomorrow on the ISC network, we'll be on the air as this one is punched into short center. That's going to fall in. Here comes 1. Here comes 2. No play at the plate there as both Schiller and Migliavaca come around to score. So a couple of RBIs there for Colin Walsh. He'll be happy that those guys were running on the play. Walsh, a single rather, but 2 RBIs. And he's 1 for 3 on the night. I was just going to say, tomorrow we'll be on the air at 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Those games will be AWP versus these Hallman Twins at 8. And at 6, it's the defending champions, the New York Gremlins, and the Niagara Stompers. Now, the Niagara Stompers, we saw that game at the Simcoe Chiefs Challenge Tournament. They beat the Gremlins.
Mm-hmm. Little potential revenge.
Now, the Gremlins came back and beat the Stompers later in that tournament. That was a good game, too.
Yep.
You know, Devin McCullough can jump up and surprise somebody. And that's what he's on that team for, is to win that big game for them. Kronk over the head of the third baseman, Friedrich. Here comes Walsh in to score. So, where were these runs a couple of innings ago, Joe, when you wanted them? Well, you were looking for an early end to this one.
Twins have broken this game up now with 5 consecutive singles.
Yeah, and folks, it's not that we're cheering for or against anybody. We're just cheering for an early end so we can go home because we've been here for 12 hours. So we've got a pinch hitter coming up again for the Twins. Number 15 is Jordan Pomeroy, a very good young player from Newfoundland and Labrador, because there aren't enough of those around. Got another one here. Pomeroy in for Patrick Burns. And he's had a couple of really hard hit balls here. And there's another one. Past a diving shortstop, Nicholas Potskin, and a base hit for Jordan Pomeroy. He's, I think, 2 for 2 in the tournament, Joe. I think he had the pinch hit the other night, too. So
Put me in, coach.
Catcher number 10, Ryan Boland.
Boland will step in. Kronk moved up to second on the base hit by Pomeroy. Yeah, 4 runs on the board. It's a 10-0 lead now for the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. Been a bit of a humbling afternoon for the Alberta teams, Joe. Fought that one off. In on the hands, fouls it off to the screen. Hard one hopper into the glove of Lee Stuper. He's able to corral this one and go step on a bag and get Ryan Boland. So 3 unassisted, and we will have Gonzalo Mosmu on to pinch hit for Andy Skelton as the bench gets emptied here in the 6th inning.
Brings up number 6, Gonzalo Mosmu.
Mosmu, one of the 55 Argentine players here this week. If you haven't seen the photo, look for it on the ISC Fast Pitch Twitter. Now, there is a team here from Argentina. That's 15, 16 of them, but 55 Argentine players here. That is a pretty awesome thing when you think about the international part of the International Softball Congress.
Shows you how the game has expanded across the continent.
Mosmo hammers this one to center, to the track, just at the track. Reeled in by the center fielder, Braden Arcon. So just missed that one, Gonzalo Mosmo. That is the final out of the inning. The Twins push across another 4. They will lead 10-0. We will head to the home half of the 6th as the Twins and Sean Cleary will look to close the door on the Grand Prairie Pride and on day 3 of the ISC World Tournament, at least as the play goes here at Circle Tap Ballpark. Stay with us. Ryan Friedrich to lead things off, the 9-batter for Grand Prairie Pirates. They need to score at least 4 to keep this game alive. Bottom of the 6th inning, trailing 10-0 as Kitchener-Hallman Twins had pushed across 4 in the top of the 6th. Big swing and a miss by Friedrich. Braden Arcon and Scott Nehigh, the scheduled batters after Ryan Friedrich here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Had a notion, but no, he did not swing, and I concur with that wholeheartedly. He did not go around.
Cleary has not had a strikeout since back in that 3rd inning.
Yeah, he's just been collecting the ground balls, letting the defense do the work. You talked about that at one point he had 7 of the 8 outs by strikeout.
9, yeah.
But he hasn't had that strikeout, as you said, since the 3rd, and he's had 8 ground balls and a fly ball sandwiched around all of that. That misses downstairs.
two different trains of thought there. I know you have a 10-0 lead. Potentially, you think you want to maybe practice a couple of pitches, but I think it's best to get out there.
Here's a little flare coming across. Migliavaca will make that catch on the run in kind of center left field, and there's not much that Teo Migliavaca isn't going to get to. We've got some real great center fielders in this game, don't we? Migliavaca, Ben Anoka, Bradley Ezekiel, just a couple that come to mind off the top teams.
Great range, the speed of those outfielders. Big thing is to read that ball off the bat. You're taking 2 steps before the ball is actually leaving the bat.
So top of the shop, Braden Arcon. Strikeout and a ground out tonight. Cleary turned up the dial on that one a little bit. Zipped it inside for a strike.
Must have hurt us.
And Sean wants to end it in style, does he? The high hopper on the infield. Walsh will come to get it. Throw and a collision.
Great play.
Great play over there by... who's stuck in the game
Zach
there?
Shaw?
That's Zach Shaw, who
Zach
stayed in
Shaw.
at second base.
That's a tough play for him to cross over there, especially with that runner coming down that line.
44, Scott Knee-High.
Well, give Colin Walsh credit. He came and got that ball and had to throw to a moving target in Zach Shaw. And Zach Shaw sacrificing the body, knowing that his momentum was going to carry him across the bag and into the path of the runner. Knee-high, big cut, comes up empty. Joked this earlier, too. Some of the big teams, obviously they've got the top pitchers, they've got great sticks.
Games, defense wins tournaments, was a saying that I always had.
Just here on the evening. One hopper, Schiller fittingly puts an end to it, and the Hallman Twins will win 10-0. Masterful pitching performance by Sean Cleary, just the one hit given up. Strikeouts through the first 3 innings, Joe, and then just got ground ball after ground ball mixed in a couple of fly balls, but that's what you want out of your pitching staff.
Exactly. Great performance by Sean Cleary. Did exactly just what he had to do to get that victory.
2019 International Softball Congress.
So we'll wrap up here on the ISC Network for the evening. It was a long day. We will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. Central scheduled start times. Watch the ISC Twitter for the links to the games, as we'll hopefully not be fighting with Google algorithms about what programs can log into what accounts tomorrow. For Joe Todd, Kyle Smith, and our guests that we've had here over the course of the day, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you tomorrow.